The latest show in professional wrestling might be called WWE Unreal, but it doesn't get much more unreal than comparing Rhea Ripley to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Could we let this one slide? Could we let this one go unpunished? Absolutely not. One does not to compare Rhea Ripley to Stone Cold Steve Austin without getting an absolute can of Steve Weiser opened on his ass.
I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in your ass. What?
Well, it turns out that nose on Triple H ain't genetics, because he's a lying bastard. That's why, nothing more, nothing less. I've had it, man. I feel like every single fucking day, this guy just, more lies spew from his arse. Or his nose.
Honestly, see, everything that people said about Triple H when he was a wrestler, you can just see it coming out now that he's in charge of the company. People saying, oh, he's all about himself. He wants to be the guy. He wants to bury people. Everything has to be about him. He needs to be the champion. He needs to be the spotlight. He needs to be the guy that is booked to be the best and number one. And you're seeing that now with him as basically the guy running WWE, that he literally does make everything about him. When somebody wins a belt, he has to be the one there posing with them, pointing the finger. When there's an attendance thing to be done, he has to come out and make the announcement. Or someone really close to him, like a Shawn Michaels or his wife, has to come out and make the announcement. When WWE's making an announcement, like a groundbreaking announcement, he has to be the one that does it. When WWE opens up a brand new era on Netflix, he is the one that comes out and does it. It's just everything is about Triple H. When it comes to the press conferences, he is the guy that has the final sit on the seat and answers the final questions. Everything is Triple H, Triple H, Triple H, and we just didn't see this under McMahon. McMahon, other than McMahon and the Mr. McMahon character, Vince took a back seat. Vince didn't want to be in the spotlight unless it was part of a storyline, unless it was the Mr. McMahon character. Triple H does nothing in character. Every time we see Triple H, it's Paul Lefebvre that he's pushing down our throats.
No, it is Paul Lefebvre, and that is, I'm telling you, that's the sole reason this Unreal series has been created. To literally just showcase this guy in a positive manner, to showcase everything that happens in WWE is because of him. And it's weird because I do think in a lot of the creative meetings that they did, it looks like he's lost control. I mean, he's literally out there like, right, guys, what we thinking? There's nothing. It's weird. Like, in a way, it's all about him. But then when you look at it, it's like the guy just lacks the seniority and actual control of the company. Like, see McMahon, we never really were privy to any of the meetings, right? Because you have kayfabe, brother. But McMahon's word was final. See with Triple H, you kind of just get the feeling that he doesn't really care if he has the final word, as long as he's getting the credit.
Yeah, it can be someone else's idea. It can be someone else. He doesn't care what direction they go with, as long as it looks like he's the one driving the train.
Yes.
You know, he doesn't care what destination. He doesn't care where they stop, as long as he's the one in the front seat. But he'll take directions for someone in shotgun. He'll take the directions for someone in the back seat. Hell, he'd probably take directions for someone in the fucking trunk of the car. Someone dead in the back. But as long as he's the guy that is, driving that steering wheel, and he's the guy that is getting there, and he looks like the one that is in charge and the one that's deciding things, then that is good enough for Triple H. And you wouldn't get that McMahon letting like a dozen people decide what's happening at the Rumble going into Mania. He'd maybe take advice, but at the end of the day, McMahon would go with what he wants to go with. How many times have people told McMahon, oh, they don't think that's the right decision, or they don't think he's the right guy, or this or that, and McMahon's like, fuck it, and he does his own thing, and 9 times out of 10, McMahon was right. 9 times out of 10, whatever McMahon did, whoever he pushed, whichever creative decision he went with, whoever he went with coming out on top, 9 times out of 10 in the long run, he got it right.
Yeah, Triple H had 3 years, and I mean, you compare Triple H's 3 years to any 3 years in a row of McMahon. McMahon shits all over him. I mean, how can people honestly sit there with a straight face and try and pretend that McMahon was this guy who didn't have a clue about the business? He is the business.
Yeah, there would be no business
I
for
am
McMahon.
the one who knocks. You know, exactly, man. It's just fucking ridiculous. And I mean, McMahon, later years went off the rails, right? Obviously, the company, etc., went fucking shite. But McMahon would never sit here and say that Rhea Ripley's Austin. In those bizarre comparisons.
But here's how you just know McMahon's WWE's better than Triple H. McMahon's version of WWE at its worst is better than Triple H's version of WWE at its best.
Yeah.
I mean, hands fucking down. Hands down. WWE's only got worse since McMahon left.
Triple H has had years, folks, not weeks, not months, years. 3 years is plenty, man.
And have you noticed the further WWE gets away from the McMahon era, the worse it gets?
Look at...
Can anybody say right now, can anybody honestly say that the last 6 months of WWE hasn't been the worst in the entirety of the company? Hands down, it has been.
Yeah, and 3 years is massive. Look at 95 to 98. Look at the fucking difference. Nothing's changed in 3 years in WWE. Same pish, same recycled main event scene. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns.
Well, I think it has changed, actually. That's the whole point I was making. The last 6 months have been god-awful.
No, but it's the same recycled main eventers getting fired about.
Oh, it's the same people on the card in the same spots, but the product's fucking almost unwatchable now.
Yeah, no, the product's changed, but in terms of the recycled main eventers, that's not changed. But you look at like years 95 to 98. Michaels, Taker, those guys existed in 95, but in 98 it's completely different. It's fucking more edgy. You can still fix it with the current guys that you've got, but he's not done that. It's the same. Cody Rhodes in 2022 is the same Cody Rhodes in 2025. Roman Reigns is the same character. Oh, but he's a good guy. No, it's the same fucking shit. Nothing's changed. It just gets worse and worse. I mean, how do you have John fucking Cena in his last year and butcher it so bad?
Oh, arguably Cena's only thing saving WWE at the moment, like, and even then, his run isn't even that good. His last year's not that special.
Yeah, we've said it's got a wee bit better recently, but tell you one thing, how much better would it be if Vincent Kennedy McMahon was booking it? Tenfold.
Absolutely.
And Triple H is the guy. Yeah. But anyway, we'll dive into his quotes about Rhea.
Yeah, no, but the further that gets away from the McMahon era, the worse it gets.
No, of course.
I mean, that's undeniable. Look at the format of wrestling now. Look at the layout and the production of Raw and SmackDown. It is so fucking boring. Every show starts with like 10 people arriving to the arena with their suitcase. Boring as fuck. Then you get an entrance. You're talking like... People used to complain back in the day that Evolution would just be finishing up their promo 15 minutes into the show. See now, whoever's in the opening promo, they haven't even spoken a word 15 minutes into the show. No, but that's true. You've got your Fiend, Michael Cole, and whoever's sitting next to him welcoming you to the show with some drone shot of the arena. And look at this woman. It could be her night tonight as she arrives, looking focused. And there's some like Stephanie Fakir coming in with a briefcase. And then you have like who's that woman in the Alpha? Any woman. Rhea Ripley arrives and she's on the phone. Oh, who's she speaking to on the phone? Fire emoji. She's speaking to fucking nobody. She's talking to herself. The line's not even connected. So it's just garbage, man. Like the intros now take. At least with McMahon, you can say McMahon used to have fast starts to the show. He would try and grab your attention within the first couple of minutes. How can Raw or SmackDown grab your attention now when it's the same boring, drawn-out shite every single week? I don't give... Oh, but it's not the same thing because last week it was Stephanie Fakir arriving with her suitcase and this week it's Bayley arriving with her suitcase. Oh, wow, whoa, you switched it up. You'd fucking one broad arrive one week and then they changed it to a different broad the next week. Whoa! I mean...
Yeah, but also, we've all arrived at hotels and, B&Bs or whatever with suitcases. What's larger than life about that? Nothing. See when Austin arrives to the arena, right? In a Zamboni or a beer truck, or Kurt Angle's coming out in a milk truck, or The Rock's coming out in like a $5,000 shirt, arriving in a limousine. The average person watching the shows fucking never arrived hee-haw in a limousine.
We're gonna get...
No, but you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, but we're gonna get into these
No, but
comments.
see drinking Starbucks and wheeling a suitcase.
Aye, some jabroni in a 9 to 5 does that.
Who hasn't
So how
done
the
that?
fuck's that make Rhea Ripley larger than life?
Who hasn't drunk a coffee?
See when you see Evolution arrive and they've got the suits on and Triple H has got the fucking big gold belt and Ric Flair stepping out with women that are like 50 years younger than him. That looks larger than life because you just don't see that every day.
No, you're there. Yeah.
But see when I see some fucking freak show looking bastard like Rhea Ripley with all this Marilyn Manson gothic face paint looking like a dude, I do see that because half the world's mentally ill and fucking transitioning into other genders. So that's the norm now. That's the expected. Someone supporting a big corporation like Starbucks. That's the norm. That's normies. So that's not larger than life. How's it larger than life when I can open my blinds and see it in front of me on the West Wing? It just doesn't
in
make
the distance through binoculars.
Aye, on times 250 soon.
Aye.
But anyway, the point is, wrestling is garbage now, and we're going to get into the Triple H thing, but you said nothing's changed, and I just disagree with that 100% because I don't think anyone in their right mind could say that since the debut of Raw on Netflix, wrestling, as bad as it was before, for me it's got 100 times worse. See with the pacing and the layout and the format of Raw, it's went from being fucking horrible to absolutely unwatchable.
Yeah, but what's changed from a personnel standpoint? That's my point. Of course, they should. Fuck, I rant every a week about personnel. Look at the personnel. Look at the main event scenes of men and women. What's changed? Who's been added?
Oh, not a lot, to be fair.
Not a lot.
But also, do you not think SmackDown has declined because of Raw being on Netflix? And they're almost trying to copy the format that they use on Raw and do the same. Because, like remember that they do this thing at SmackDown.
It's declined because of Raw, and Raw's not got any better. It's got worse.
Yeah, but I just feel
Work at it.
I feel like they're kind of copying the Raw on Netflix format for SmackDown. When in reality, they should be trying to steer as far away from that shit as possible. Honestly, can anybody say that this isn't the worst era of wrestling they've seen in the last 6 months? See this? Wrestling going to Netflix is the worst thing I think it's ever done.
Yep. We all thought it was the saviour, the saving grace, the shot of adrenaline in the arm. Anything but.
From the intros to the advertising breaks, everything is slowed down. From the longer matches with like 3 or 4 commercial breaks for each one.
The ring, the ads.
Yeah, the sponsors. It's just Michael Cole constantly speaking in a sentence and then just cutting off randomly 15 minutes before we even get the first entrance over and done with. Like, why do we... Back in the day, when someone arrived at the arena, first of all, it was someone important, and there would normally be like an emphasis on someone arriving. If someone was arriving, it was a big deal. It's like, oh, business is about to pick up. Oh, he's here. Something serious is about to go fucking down. But now it's just, oh, there's Rhea Ripley arriving with a suitcase and her Starbucks. Oh, what big news could this be about? Nothing, because she does the same thing every single week.
Yeah. No, it's fucking, man, it pisses me off.
Anyway, let's get into the comments then. So, Triple H is talking about Rhea Ripley, how he sees another side of Rhea Ripley. Will we address the larger-than-life comments first, or will we address the Stone Cold comparison? Let's address the larger-than-life comment first, because
I've already half addressed it, but you weren't there, and you had to get your piece in here, so get your piece in.
So, this is what Triple H said about Rhea Ripley. He said, quote, "In this world of transparency, when you have athletes like Rhea Ripley, who many see as this larger-than-life, would never have a doubt character going through the highs and the lows and the pressure and the self-doubt, overcoming those to go out and perform the way she does. I don't know how it doesn't make you appreciate her more as a performer or make you appreciate them more as athletes." End of quote. Well, first of all, Rhea Ripley is not an athlete. She's not, and to call her an athlete is kind of embarrassing. It's a stretch. It's actually it's a dig. It's a dig, no doubt about it. It's taking shots at real athletes, because she's certainly not one of them. But to say, why doesn't he explain what is larger than life about her? Because if you say what's larger than life about Hulk Hogan, there's a shitload of evidence you can point to. I mean, first of all, you just need to look at Hulk Hogan. You don't see those pythons in everyday life. You just fucking don't.
No, you don't. 24-inch pythons, brother. I mean, there's a reason it got over.
What is larger than life about Rhea Ripley? You go down to the park and you look at the golf, skateboarding, and you will see a Rhea Ripley.
Every single day of the week, brother.
Now, she might look more like a man than the average, female golf down at your local park, but the facts remain, it's the same fucking shit. She's not, how's she larger than life? She doesn't have any charisma. She's not good on the mic. She's not a great in-ring wrestler. What is larger than life about Rhea Ripley?
I don't think these people, I mean, it's Triple H, but I don't think they truly understand. It just gets fired around terms like this. They've lost the plot when it comes to it. I mean, the character would never have a doubt. I think we've seen Rhea Ripley on screen have doubts. There is wrestling characters that have never had doubts. They have a mission and they see it through, and they have they only believe in one kind of thing. Like you see it with demonic people and heel characters, but Rhea Ripley never have a doubt character. How can you even describe her as that? Is that not ridiculous?
What does he even mean by never have a doubt? She never doubts her ability. She never doubts her thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, he says never would have a doubt character, going through the highs and the lows and the pressure and the self-doubt, overcoming those to go out and perform in the way she does. Because he was speaking about the way Unreal shows them as she would never have a doubt character, but
yeah,
but
you see
behind the scenes, and it's but she does have doubts behind the scenes, which again is just exposing the business into it.
So he's saying that the character Rhea Ripley would never have a doubt, but the actual person Rhea Ripley does have self-doubts.
Aye, and she deals with the highs and the lows. And then he made a comparison to F1 Drive to Survive. We all know the differences. That's fucking real.
Yeah, it's it just makes no sense. I can understand wanting a documentary on that kind of stuff. I don't understand wanting a documentary on wrestling when you're trying to protect the business. It just doesn't make any sense. There's nothing to protect in F1 because it's fucking real. It's real life.
Yeah, in F1, we see the interviews after sessions, right? Races.
Basically, that's extra content, behind the scenes content.
Yeah, it's a wee look into their personal life, but it's still them. It's still the driver. These people are playing. They're supposed to be playing characters. They're supposed to be playing. Obviously, they're fucking not. Most of them are just playing themselves, and that's why they all fucking suck. Because there's nothing larger in life about them. Back in the day, they were.
I mean, you can't name one thing that's larger than life about her, apart from her back muscles. And he's probably got a big fascination with that. And the fact that, she does resemble China a little bit. But what is larger than life about her?
Nothing. I would actually like Triple H to... Well, he couldn't though. I mean, it's all good us sitting here saying why doesn't he actually explain what's larger than life about her? Because he fucking can't. It's just, all they say is mumbo jumbo shite. They just say words they use describing words to describe people that actually don't have the things that they're describing.
Aye, absolutely right. So let's get into what Triple H had to say as my phone starts
trying to batter us here.
Fucking phone's going crazy. Triple H is on the hotline here trying to get through to get this video taken off the internet, but that's not going to happen. Anyway, Triple H then went and spoke about Rhea Ripley. He gave her high praise, and he said that she is his version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And how insulting is this to Stone Cold Steve Austin? I mean, earlier when I was saying that calling her an athlete is insulting to athletes, that's one thing, but to actually name drop Austin in a straight comparison with Rhea Ripley is fucking disgusting. Stone Cold Steve Austin, almost single-handedly. Now, I think you give McMahon a lot of credit as well, because McMahon and Austin, I think, almost come as a duo. I don't know how big Stone Cold gets without Vince McMahon, the character. I really don't. But Austin as a professional wrestler and McMahon as just, the owner of the company. So, let's say you don't include McMahon. Austin almost single-handedly won the Monday Night Wars. He almost single-handedly took WWF took them in front of WCW, and essentially put them out of business. He is, without a shadow of a doubt, when it comes to sales, viewing figures, buy rates, he is second to Hogan. And when it comes to actually a short period, when it comes to like just a short run, and when you look at the numbers in the Attitude Era, and when it does come to short sale, you can make a case, there's definitely some metrics where he performed better than Hogan. Now, I don't think anyone's going to say Austin over longevity was, superior, because Hogan had the entire 80s, and that just surpassed. I think what Hogan done in the 80s will surpass anything that is possible to do in wrestling. But when you look at Austin, his run in the 90s, he did overtake Hogan. If you're just doing a straight comparison for both their careers in the 90s, he became the biggest star in wrestling. Like I said, he single-handedly almost won the Monday Night Wars for WWF. He was the first guy to get that $1 million contract in WWE. The amount of money he was making in royalties was insane. Unfortunately, he got injured going into the year 2000, but WWE literally increased all their pay-per-view buy rate monies, the costs. They increased all the ticket sales off the back of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, a lot of people don't give him credit because WWE started hitting more records in terms of finances in 2000, and they go, well, Austin wasn't there, so that means he wasn't the big... No, Austin was the reason why they increased, and McMahon's come out and said this. Jim Ross has come out and said this. The reason why they put ticket prices up going into 2000 was because the success that they had off of Austin in 98 and 99. Now, unfortunately, Austin wasn't really active in 2000 to take advantage of it, but you can only imagine how much more profitable and how much more record sales, etc. WWE would have had if Austin was actually around in the 2000 run to actually capitalise on that. But this, McMahon is even came out, and I know he came out and he said the opposite the other day with Hogan sadly passing away, but McMahon has come out and says that Stone Cold Steve Austin was his biggest star in WWE, and I think that is true. For me, Hogan's the biggest star in professional wrestling, but Stone Cold's the biggest star in WWE. That's how I stand on them. I think Hulk Hogan overall in wrestling, yes, he's the biggest star, but if you're just focusing on one company, and that company being WWE/WWF, I would say Austin's the biggest star that company's ever produced, and he's got the numbers there to prove it. I mean, you think about it's hard to compare the 80s and the 90s because the 80s didn't have episodic television.
Yeah.
80s didn't have monthly buy rate pay-per-views. So it's really hard to compare the 80s and the 90s. And in a way, I don't think you can, right? But just to finish my point here, Austin is, if not the biggest star in professional wrestling history, he is nailed on in number 2. The only comparison Rhea Ripley has got to a number 2 is that thing you drop in a toilet bowl. That is the closest thing she's got to number 2. Austin, biggest shirt seller, biggest merchandise seller, highest paid person on the roster, highest buy rates achieving guy, highest everything, main event talent. Every time Austin was wrestling, he main evented. Rhea Ripley, when does she main event? When does she get a sniffy a main event? When does she carry herself like a Stone Cold Steve Austin? Fucking never. When is she main eventing a WrestleMania? Never.
But see, Rhea Ripley, it's not even like she is the like he says, it's his Austin, but she's not even the best in the company in terms of anything right now. We're not looking at the 80s. We're not looking at the 90s. We're not looking at the 2000s. If we're looking at 2025, is Rhea Ripley in terms of like drawing and like views and even in the top 10?
No, but as sick as this sounds, and it makes me feel sick saying it, if you ever wanted to compare anyone to Austin or Rock from the female division, it probably would have been Becky Lynch in 2019-18 when they were pushing her like crazy.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to compare anybody from a female side to The Rock or Austin, that would have been the person. But Rhea Ripley? Absolutely not. What has she done? How can you measure her against Stone? You can't. You just can't. On what criteria are you saying that she is this she's this decade or this current generation Stone Cold Steve. You fucking can't. See if he turned around and says, "Oh, Roman Reigns is my Stone Cold," or Cody Rhodes, he's my Stone Cold. See, as much as I'd want to spit in the face of that suggestion, at least I think, well, here, I mean, at least he was pushing Cody Rhodes like Austin. He was putting him in the main events. He had him win the title at Mania. If Rhea Ripley is a Stone Cold Steve Austin, why is she not main eventing Monday Night Raw every week? Why is she not taking up majority of screen time? Why is she not main eventing paper? The only pay-per-view she ever main evented was that one in our home country.
Perth.
And it was a fucking embarrassing main event.
It's not just Triple H. Remember that Netflix premiere? Rock backstage with Rhea Ripley. He's like, "Oh, thank you, Rhea, for all the work you've done over like the past year. You've really carried this company on your back." Where? What? Where's the evidence of what?
Take her as well. Think about it. Just take her appearing for the Netflix premiere just to put over Rhea Ripley. That was also embarrassing.
When did Austin need someone to come out in 99 to
put him over?
To put him over. To do, hold his hand while they're on the bike. He didn't.
No, he didn't.
So I just don't get it. But it's a bizarre comparison, and I mean, does Triple H truly believe it? No, but it's woke as well. I mean, there'll never be a woman anywhere fucking near the level of Austin. There'll never be a man near the level of Austin. But if there's ever going to be someone that's comparable, it has to be a man.
It would be like Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. It would have to be one of them.
Yeah. Because
those are the two guys that have been literally pushed as top guys in the last 5 years. Roman Reigns was pushed as the top guy, and then I think it's fair to say that after that, Cody Rhodes got pushed as the top guy. You cannot make the claim.
Yeah, but what's the obsession with all these different people now in WWE pushing Rhea Ripley down our throats and pretending that she's something that she's not?
Gaslighting. See if she was as good as they say, you wouldn't need to push her down her throat. See if someone truly is that good, you don't need to keep telling us. See if Rhea Ripley really was comparable to Stone Cold Steve Austin, these people wouldn't need to. They wouldn't need to force it upon you. You would see it yourself. You would see the comparisons. There's no comparison.
There's no comparison to be made.
People talk about comparison. People see little elements. People see little bits of Stone Cold and The Rock and LA Knight, and that's a guy that just doesn't get a push. Who knows? Maybe if that guy actually got the WWE machine behind him, maybe he could have been, this current generation Stone Cold or this current generation's The Rock, but he's obviously a guy that Triple H doesn't like for, I don't know, maybe because he's got fucking charisma and he actually got a decent looking body and he looks like a star. Triple H doesn't want that. But yeah, to compare Rhea Ripley to Stone Cold, absolutely not.
No, it's sick. And we're not talking about some fucking loser like Meltzer. We're talking about the guy that's running the company.
And that's no wonder the company's gone down the toilet. No wonder the company is in such a bad way. No wonder it's in the shape that it currently is. When this is the guy in charge, and he's saying that Rhea Ripley's his Stone Cold.
Alright guys, anyway, we'll leave it there. Till next time. Peace.